Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 16th episode of the Not Your Everyday MMA podcast. As always, my name's Alex Henry, and I am with
Tori Haverl.
Tori.
Guys?
I haven't thrown it to you in a while. I always just say your name, but I threw it to you today. I gave you the lob, but
it was a little shocking.
Yeah, Tori and I were coming off, and you MMA fans, we're coming off an exciting weekend, an exciting pay-per-view. You know, one that ended up falling off in terms of some fights that were supposed to happen. New fights did. And then there was just a bunch of finishes.
Crazy.
I think crazy
it was one off from tying the record.
Yeah, it was wild. All these finishes were crazy. The first, I think when was the first decision? Patty?
First decision, was it Patty? Was there any I forgot if there was any in the early prelims.
It was Patty. It was Patty.
The first decision was Patty. That is insane.
Yeah.
What a decision that was. Sorry.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. Some notable prelims. Ohio boy, Chris Curtis. Just wanted to mention the guy's name. Even though I'm pretty sure I picked Joaquin Buckley I think we both picked Joaquin Buckley to win, but
yeah, we did.
Chris Curtis took a win. I mean, 30-9. That's if you eliminated Chris Curtis's name and you said, hey, it's an MMA fighter, he's 30-9 in the UFC, you would think, holy crap, this guy must be really good. And then you see Chris Curtis, and he's just kind of been average his whole career. But on paper,
he's good. And he was not looking, he was actually kind of getting beat up that fight. Then he got that shot, and was it third round? I believe it was third round, and boom. I kind of felt bad for walking. I was kind of rooting for him. I was like, yeah, and then I was like, oh, and but it was a good finish. It was a great fight.
Yeah, no, really good fight. The next one was Edmund Shabazian versus Dalcha Lujimbula. I can't believe I'm remembering these names. I'm surprising myself right now. It was like a flying knee type.
That was crazy.
Thing. It was punch type stoppage. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The finishes were wild.
All the finishes, yeah.
Then on to Rosenstrike. I mean,
okay, that was no joke. Walked forward, threw, landed, out. Damn, I was wrong. We were wrong. I don't know if you chose Rosenstrike, but I chose Dawkins, I believe. And wow, and boy, oh boy, was I wrong.
I believe I picked Rosenstrike, but I didn't want to pick Rosenstrike.
Yeah.
But wow, dude's got a hammer.
He does have a hammer
attached to his hand,
just within a second. Wasted no time, time at all. Just went down.
Less than a minute. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
Whoa! There goes the ring light. The ring light just took a massive fall there, just like Chris Dawkins did. See what I did there?
Oh, but that was funny.
Poor Chrissy. I did it on purpose. What can I say? The final fight. Mr. 18-year-old himself, Raul, I don't know why I keep wanting to say it like that. Rosas Jr.
Wow.
Dude looked good.
Wow.
You know who he reminded me of, Tori?
Who?
Kind of reminded me of your boy Alja. He came out, had some good striking, took him down fast, grabbed his back.
And just did not let go.
He could not get him off.
And the thing is about him being so young is he's not going to tire out easily.
No.
And so he can hang out there for a while. And I mean, especially with a guy like Jay Perrin, I mean, it was crazy. It was awesome. I liked watching it. I was on my feet cheering, even though I was alone watching the fights after work, but I was up and cheering for him. It was so awesome to see such a young kid do it. And the comment at the end was funny. And the fact that he got the bonus was amazing, but I just wonder what's next for him. I really do. I wonder what he wants to fight. If he wants to be very active, if he should be very active. I don't know. I want to know what's on the agenda for Rosas Jr.
I just hope that they keep giving him fights like this, fights that he should be able to win. I don't think there's anything unfair until he's 22 of giving him fights that he should win.
No,
because
he's young. He's 18.
These guys if you're fighting a 27-year-old UFC fighter with any more than 13 fights under their belt, then they should have a chance to be a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter how good he is.
Yeah.
So I think, there's no reason to put him in there with a killer yet. And I would definitely take it slow. I agree there. Another thing, I forgot to tell you this. I was going to tell you off the podcast. I forgot. When we started our podcast, I DM'd Jay Perrin, the Joker, for an interview, and he saw it, but he never responded. It says seen. I was looking. One of his posts came up after the fight. I'm like, why do I
Yeah.
follow him? Like, why did I follow him? Checked messages. I DM'd him. I asked him when he'd come on. Said seen. Didn't answer.
Uh,
So kind of happy he lost.
yeah. No, I think, okay, Alex, I think I did the same thing. And I think he left me on open as well. And I remember this
Dang.
screenshot that I sent you, and he left me on open.
Wait,
So
you did
rude.
screenshot him.
He responded. He said yes, then never responded again.
Dang, I completely forgot about that too. I
Yeah.
completely forgot that happened because that's been a while. That was like 2 months
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
I
He responded, got my hopes up, then never responded again. So
wow.
rude.
He deserved it. He deserved it.
You know what, Raul Rosas Jr., you do you. You
Yeah,
did great.
if Jay
Good
Perrin ever
job.
wants on, I'd still let him on, of course, but I'd be upset with him. I
I'd
might
be a
even
little
bring it
salty.
up. I might even bring it up with him. I don't know. But yeah, just total side conversation there. On to the main card, Ilia Tuporia took on Bryce Mitchell, and I'll give my thoughts first. Bryce looked bad. It wasn't the same like Bryce I saw. Now he was tough. Like I said in the podcast, dude had the dog in him.
Yeah.
That dog can't stop you from wanting to almost die because you can't breathe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in terms of those punches, he was taking them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was fighting. He was putting up his best fight that he could. But overall, Ilia Tuporia, I think we're looking at a future champion. I really do. I think he is good, good, good. Like his power and his dominance was just so impressive. Tori, I don't want to take everything. What did you think about this fight?
I mean, the first thing that went to my head was just like prospect, like a challenge, a challenge in the featherweight division. And if he ends up fighting Brian Ortega, I would choose Ilia. And I'm a Brian Ortega fan. I just think he is that good. He is very well rounded. He has such power in his hands. He's quick. And just on top of that, he has good grappling. He's good everywhere. He's scary. This dude is actually scary. And I mean, I don't think Bryce looked horrible. I just think Ilia was on a different level in terms of striking, just because Bryce is used to kind of going for the takedown right away and accomplishing it and just getting it to the floor and dominating there. But Ilia, that's not the type of fighter Ilia is, because he's very good as well on the ground. And it was an insanely dominant performance. And the only thing I would have for Ilia is that he does tend to chase the finishing. You saw his hands kind of get heavy at the end a little bit and just kind of tire out. But he's awesome. It's crazy. It's always fun seeing someone like this. But I don't think Bryce is done at all. I still think Bryce is amazing.
No.
And people are saying how he should go to like different camp and stuff like that. No, dude, he was against Ilia Topuria, who is an insane. It really was either way. Like this fight, it was crazy and it was awesome. It was awesome. That's it. It was a very good performance.
These guys fight 10 times. I think they go 5-5. You know what I mean? Like I really do believe that. And it was just Ilia's night, but Ilia looked really good. On the next fight, Dricus Du Plessis, Darren Till. Now, Dricus Du Plessis won third round rear naked choke, in case you guys didn't know. But for me, in my head, I never said this, but I was like, if Darren Till loses this fight, might get cut from the UFC. I'm like, might be on old Dana's chopping block.
Yeah.
But he didn't look bad.
No.
And that was the
he did
thing.
not.
He did not get dominantly beat. Actually, Dricus said it best. And I don't know. I'm just sitting in my bedroom right now. Never fought a day in my life. But Dricus said that Darren Till's weak for the weight class. And honestly, I could see that, because Darren Till would land some of these big punches and I'd be like, all right. Didn't phase the guy. Did not phase Du Plessis at all. And I mean, shout out to Dricus. He moved up in the standings after that fight. Yeah. And he looked good. I mean, he's 18-2 now. That's a legit record. There's that's a really, really good record. So good for him. Tori, what did you have to take away from this fight?
I agree. I didn't think Darren looked bad at all. I mean, maybe if he would have survived that round, it would have, who knows who could have won. But I was just thinking the same thing. He was landing and I was like, what it just wasn't an effect. It was almost frustrating. I'm like, come on, Darren. Oh yeah. Oh, like it didn't do anything. He never really took a step back. It was an awesome fight. It's funny because it wasn't like a fight of the night, but there was like no long fights throughout the night, if that makes sense. It was like kind of hard, but it was an awesome fight. I think I don't know. I don't know what I think about Darren right now. I don't think he should be cut. I still think he's good. I still think he can compete, but I don't know about competing for the title. He just looks old. He's like 30, but he just something looks up. I don't know what it is. Maybe going down a weight class would be good for him. If
He
he
might
can
look
make
a
the
little
weight.
younger.
Yeah, make him look a little younger, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It was a good fight. Good job to Dracus. It was a good performance by him, and it showed how tough he is too. And he's cool to a new prospect as well in the middleweight division. Other than the Cannonier, people we've been seeing over and over again.
Yeah, maybe Darren Till could go over to the PFL because he might fit in there.
Yeah,
PFL needs guys like Darren Till. They do.
they do.
Sure. Bigger like Darren Till. Here's the thing about Darren Till. Honestly, he's not that good. He's just for UFC fighters, I would only want to call him average. He's like a little below average. And
That's a bold statement.
How he has been recently.
How he has been, yeah.
Yeah, how he has been. You put that guy in the PFL, he's gonna be a little better than the talent that's kind of there. Obviously not the champions, the best PFL fighters, but in terms of everybody else competing, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much money he's getting, but dude just keeps losing, so it can't be that much.
Did he get is it 50K for a fight of the night?
Yeah, 50K.
Did get the 50K though?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. So anyway, on to the next one. Hopefully Darren Till figures it out. I don't really like him either, but I don't prey on anybody's downfall. Yeah. Even if you're my least favorite
other than Kamaru Usman.
Maybe a little. Maybe I wouldn't mind if he, fell
downfall.
Maybe. Santiago Ponzinibbio took on Alex Morono. What do I do? And when I watched this fight live, I was like, okay, this is what I call a water break fight. I'm like, all right, get something to drink, get a snack, check my phone.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of watching it and I was like, oh wait, they're kind of fighting. Like they're kind of trying to put on a show right now. And Alex looked good. And I'm like, holy crap, me and Tori were wrong. This dude apparently could have picked up a fight on a 2-day notice and would have been fine.
Yeah.
And then Santiago Ponzinibbio just popped him.
Yeah.
Popped him. And I was like, holy crap. And it was a good fight. And I was happy for Ponzinibbio again. Another one of those things where you look at a record and you're really impressed. Santiago moves to 29-6.
That's crazy.
Impressive record. I mean,
that is a stacked record.
Like Jan Blachowicz is 29-9.
Yeah.
One.
Like now one. Yeah.
That's I don't know. That's impressive. What did you think about this fight, Tori?
Same thing. I was very surprised by Alex's performance. I thought Santiago was gonna be able to get him out like in the first round. I was just kind of waiting for it. Similar thing. I was watching it, but I didn't watch it live because I was at work. So I was rewatching it at my house and I got up a little bit, all of a sudden I hear the whoo, and I look back and I'm like, oh, and I missed it. I missed the finish. So I did have to go back and rewatch it. And it was an awesome fight. I was very surprised. Santiago looked good. He always looks good though. He's pretty much always consistent, just powerhouse. And Morono, it's almost one of those things where it's a Darren Till where it doesn't really diminish him at all because he took the fight on such short notice and he looked really good. I mean, if Santiago wouldn't have finished him, I would have had Morono winning the fight. And so it was awesome. It was a cool fight. And he proved a lot. Short notice wins work.
Yeah, good win. Let's go to the co-main. Tori, I'll give it to you this time. Patty the Batty Pimplett gets a unanimous decision win versus Jared Gordon. What did you think about this fight, Tori?
This is why I think the PFL's format is very great. And this isn't a promo. Like, this is just me saying it in general, why I think the PFL's format is very good, because most of the times it's based off of excitement and based on points. And so you know where you're going and you know how you're getting there. And so you want to put on the more interesting fights and you want to finish your opponents to get those higher points to move higher up in the season. This was BS. And I'm going to say it was BS because
Pop off.
Patty Pimlet did not even close to win that fight. Not in a single itty bitty, incy bincy, tiny little bit win that fight. It's crazy to me because people are comparing it to Sean O'Malley versus Piotr Jan, but that is completely different because based off statistics, Sean O'Malley did win that fight. If you look at just strikes landed per round, he outstruck him. I mean, control time, yeah, but it evens out. It's do you take control time or do you take strikes? And damage. This was crazy, actually insane to me because there was no shot Patty won that. He got rocked like 4 times in the first round, like twice in the second, and he got held in the third the whole time. It got to a point because I had actually gotten this fight spoiled for me because my do not disturb was off and I saw a tweet saying, how did Patty win that fight? And I was like, oh, it's going to be like a one. So I kind of got it spoiled a little bit. But the third round, I was watching it and I almost got pissed. So I like turned it off like mid third round because I was like, this is like dumb. Because if Patty won this fight, it literally makes no sense. And it was so, I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. The hype train. It's the hype train. And I like Patty. Don't get me wrong. I like Patty. He just did not win that fight. And it's okay to take a loss. It's okay. Like you're still going to be there. Molly's still there. She's still surviving. She got dominated. I'm sorry. It was just bad. And by UD, no.
UD. Tori, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Not only was it an awful call, because it was. Jared Gordon won. But Patty is overrated right now. He just didn't look good at all.
Oh.
Like his chin's up. Everybody wants to talk about how his chin's up. Oh, his chin's up, his chin's up. Yes, that's awful. 100%. But let's talk about his hands. And I think it gets like desensitized because you have guys like Sean O'Malley who fight with their hands down, but that's on purpose.
Yeah,
we're talking Patty comes out with a nice little, whatever his stance is, and a minute in it's like he wants to get hit.
Exactly.
I'm like,
it looks like he's tired.
Yeah, he looks bad. And I didn't actually listen to Sean O'Malley's podcast, but I saw some quotes from what he had to say about this fight. And he's like, Patty, this needs to be his wake-up call. He needs to realize, okay, I need to stop putting on 100 pounds after all my fights. I need to start training harder because I have potential. I am a good fighter, but I am never going to be able to compete with UFC guys if I fight the way I did versus Jared Gordon. And for him to say he got fight of the night, what? No, dude, you got robbed.
And another thing that I kind of want to mention is I did not love Dana White's reaction to this fight either. He was like angry at Jared Gordon. And I was like, why? He did what he was supposed to do in the third round. Because he clearly won rounds 1 and 2. Clearly. People were saying maybe Patty won rounds 2. No, he just starched him at the end a little bit. But Gordon was consistent throughout this whole fight, landing more control time. He on every single level, he beat Patty. And I don't like how Dana was saying, Dana, if you're by chance watching this, I love you, but don't like what your comment was. Anyways, just kidding. But it was just, I just didn't understand it. It was crazy. And it pissed me off because it's almost like makes us as fans be like, then what's the point of this sport? What's the point of these judges if it's not a true calling, if that makes sense, if it's not a good call? And it made me doubt the sport too. I'm like, if this is how it's going to continue to go, I'll move on to a different organization or I'll just do something else. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. It really and it sucks too, because this is the fight a lot of people were most excited for on this card. Not me, but a lot of people. They were like, this is the fight I want to see. Well, yikes. Yeah, you got it. We can talk about this all day, but let's just get to the vacant light heavyweight championship bout. And Tori, believe it or not, still the vacant lightweight heavyweight champion ship is out there. It's still vacant. Yeah. Because it was a split. It was a split draw. So what do you take from this fight? What do you think about each guy? Who do you think should have won? Do you agree with the call?
I kind of have a little bit of an unpopular opinion in this one. I thought Jan won. I did, just because of how much he picked him apart and how much he damaged him in the first 3 rounds. I do get that Magomed very much did take him down and control him in the last two. But I think Jan did more damage and more wear to Magomed than Magomed did to Jan. And so I didn't think Jan should be saying sorry to anyone. I didn't think he should say, like, this is your belt. I thought he won. And I mean, people are going to be like, oh, no, well, that's what I thought. And it really showed, though, that I don't know if Magomed, like, this was a huge jump in competition from him. I know Anthony Smith is, like, a huge guy, but he got injured. It wasn't like a huge fight. And so this is a huge step up in competition. I think it was good practice, but I don't necessarily, I thought Jan looked like the better fighter that night. I did. I also didn't like the way Dana reacted to this fight. I hated the way that Dana reacted to this fight. Actually, it made me mad. The post press conference, he was saying how it was one of the worst fights in UFC history, how it was so boring. I did not think it's boring. These fighters did what they are skilled at. They did what they are supposed to do. And I could definitely see how it was a split draw. It's no judgment, really. I mean, kind of some to the judges, but not really, because it was, because was it 2 10-8s the last 2 rounds?
Well, yes. Yeah. For Magomed.
Yeah. I can see how it was a draw. I just don't like the way Dana reacted. And we can talk about what he did after you give your thing about this fight.
I do think Magomed won. Mainly my reasoning, which I had a comment on a Instagram post and it got a lot of likes, and I was happy about it because it's something I don't see many people really even wanting to talk about. Is I thought Magomed won the first round in at least one guy's scorecard, but all of them had it for Jan. So they all agreed with you, actually, Tori. For me personally, Magomed did way more damage in the first round. I think he even landed more strikes in the first round. So for me, I definitely thought Magomed had that first round. It wasn't an impressive 10-8. It wasn't even an impressive 10-9. But if I had to score it, I would have scored it at least 10-9 Magomed. And for all of them to have a 10-9 Jan, that was what really surprised me.
You're right on that one. I just pulled up the stats. Total strikes for Magomed 191 compared to 79 first. Oh wait, this is full fight. Never mind. Magomed 19 total strikes compared to Jan's 14. Significant strikes 19 to Jan's 14.
And like the damage was there. Magomed, I talked about this in our podcast story, previewing it. His kicks, I mean, well, you got to give Jan his credit because holy crap, he about took off Magomed's leg with his kicks the entire fight. But Magomed's body kicks, dude, his teeps to the body, his front kicks, teep means same thing pretty much. And his kicks to the body were just on point that entire round. Even Daniel Cormier was talking about it. He's like, man, if I had to pick a round or pick a guy, I'd pick well, he actually pronounced Ankalaev's name wrong. How would he say it? But either way, he was, he even said before the fight was over, he had Magomed in the first round. So I definitely thought the first round went for him. I rewatched the fight, Tori. And after rewatching it, I kind of understand the draw a little more. Just an incy bin. But like, I really do think Magomed should have won it, especially because his wrestling. But what I will add to your point, Tori, is how Dana said it was boring. One of my favorite things in MMA, one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of the sport, is it's like a chess match sometimes. And that doesn't just mean inside the round. That means inside the fight. Magomed was getting the crap beat out of him with this striking. He couldn't strike. Jan did what he needed to do. I said, if Jan can do this to Magomed striking in the podcast, that's his only shot. He stayed outside and kicked him and would come in every now and then for punches and come out.
Yeah.
And that's how that was the plan to beat Magomed. That's what I said. Magomed said, all right, well, what do I got to do? I have to wrestle him. And it's like two countries going to war and they have to figure out what they're doing. It's like a chess match. It's really entertaining. To me, I understand to everybody that might not be entertaining. That's why Israel is one of my favorite fighters, because you'll see Israel make all these tiny adjustments throughout a fight to ensure a win most of the time. So yeah, I thought Magomed had it, but Tori, to what you were saying, Dana came out, the guy who never makes fights on fight nights, right?
Yeah.
He made a fight.
One.
And what do you think about it? Jamal Hill taking on Glover Texer in Brazil.
I don't think much about it. I think it was rushed. I mean, to be honest, I don't necessarily think it was needed. I think it's unfair to the two guys that just fought for the title, even though it was for a vacant title. I do think it's a little unfair. I also feel bad for Anthony Smith. Like, was definitely a thing that they were supposed to fight. That was a thing. I mean, it's exciting. I'm happy I would get to see Glover fight. I don't have many thoughts on it. I mean, Jamal Hill, it's gonna be exciting. I'm a little nervous for Jamal Hill's power and Glover's age a little bit, but I mean, it's just I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair to the two fighters that worked hard, went through training camps, fought for the title that night, ended in a draw. They're kind of left on a cliffhanger over here, and so I don't know.
Yeah, and
I love it.
what a move to make, after I almost feel like he was power trip Dana, because you got one of your best lightweight fighters saying he doesn't know if he wants to fight for your promotion anymore, and you're just backhanding him on top of a decision that a lot of people think should have went his way, including his opponent that night.
Yeah.
And you're saying, you know what? He doesn't get a fight. Neither of them get a fight, actually. This is the
Yeah.
fight that happens. And that's not how he said it, but boy, that's how I interpreted it. Maybe that was just
Yeah.
me. But in terms of the fight, I actually think it'll be a really good fight. But I don't think it was the fight to make.
No.
I
I don't
think
think it makes much sense. It seems like a rush. It seems like something that was just thrown up in the air,
another thing is, Dana openly said this fight's boring. Well, no wonder he would want to see it. He wouldn't want to see it a second time. He's calling the fight boring.
Yeah.
But just because Dana White thinks the fight's boring doesn't mean that you shouldn't. That's not the fair fight to make, bruh. You're on Brandon Moreno, Davison Figueiredo 4,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not all of those fights have been extremely entertaining. They are. I mean, when it's a flyweight fight, they're gonna strike each other the entire time, and that's somewhat entertaining. But it's not like there's the levels to entertainment in the fight. So
Yeah.
it was weird. I like the fight, but I don't know if it was the fairest either. I kind of agree with you,
Yeah.
Tori.
There's not much thought on it. I'm just like, oh well, there that goes. Like it's almost like a title fight that I'm not gonna take too seriously because it's so last minute. It's not one of those like built up anticipation. It's just like, oh well, I feel like whoever wins is gonna be champion for like 0.2 seconds. So I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just want Yuri back. I like Yuri. I actually really like this dude. Like,
Yeah.
bro grew on me a lot. So come back, Yuri.
I
You
know.
are like,
You're just heal. Just
just
better.
go on a mountain, like you do, and meditate and be a samurai, and I don't know, balance your chakras out or something. I don't
Just do
know.
what you do best, Yuri. You got it. You
Yeah,
got it.
bro. I need it. I need you back. I need you back. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for the 282 recap, Tori. Any final thoughts on the pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view of the year?
Everything was great up until co-main and main.
Yep, I agree. Well, this week, last actual UFC event of the year, fight night. We got Jared Cannonier, the Killer Gorilla, taking on
Excited.
Sean Strickland.
Does Sean Strickland have a nickname? Or is it
Probably.
just Sean Strickland?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was just Sean Strickland. Tell me what, Tori, give me your breakdown for the very first fight on the card, and I will try to figure out if Sean Strickland has a nickname while I'm listening.
Sounds good. Alrighty, the first fight is going to be in the middleweight division, and we have Cody Brundage versus Mikhail, right? Mikhail Ole Juzak. That's how it's gonna be.
Good enough. Good enough. We'll call him
Mikhail
Mikhail from now on.
Alrighty, we have Brundage, who is 8-2-0. He has a grappling base, and if you guys did not see one of his past couple of fights, he did beat the tough winner very dominantly, Tresean Gore, which is not much of an accomplishment because Tresean Gore is iffy, but he has good wrestling, and in order for this fight to go his way, I think he just needs to get that top position and beat down, because that is going to be his biggest advantage, is when he is on the ground. And then you have Mikhail, who is normally actually at 205, but he dropped down his last fight to 185, and he's staying around. He has a record of 17-5-0. He has really good boxing. He's a southpaw, has good power. His striking is going to be the biggest threat. He has fast hands, moves around very smoothly, and since he was bigger and cut down, he does have that knockout power, that big 205 power. I am choosing Michelle this fight. I think he has the advantages everywhere as long as he can stay away from the takedowns of Brundage. But I mean, if Brundage uses his chain wrestling as he has before, I he might be able to get success if he gets Mikhail to the floor and on his back and starts beating him down. But for now, I think I'm going to choose Michel, and I think I'm going to go by like, I'm going to say by like first round, second round knockout. I think he's going to finish him.
Yeah, no, good breakdown, Tori. Sean Strickland used to go by Tarzan, but actually doesn't. He like dropped the nickname, I guess. So we'll see if he comes out to a new nickname, if he goes back to Tarzan, if he just goes Sean Strickland. But to this fight, Tori, I agree with a lot of stuff he said. Brundage, heavy striker. He has good wrestling, really good wrestling, actually, a college wrestler. But is he going to use it? Don't know. Stepping up on short notice, still very good. Mikhail, super fast striker, throws with a lot of volume, quick on his feet, and he's overall a really smart fighter. And I really like Cody, actually, just in general as like a prospect. But I think Mikhail is going to be the better fighter. He's got a little more fight experience, higher fighter IQ. Even without the experience, you can have a high fight IQ and not have a lot of fighting experience, believe it or not. And I think Mikhail does have that. So I do think that he gets the win in this fight, Tori. So we both agree on the first one. On to the next one. And boy, oh boy, is it a hard fight to predict. Drew Dober taking on Bobby Green. Two very easy names to pronounce, by the way. Gotta love it.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, for sure. Drew Dober is just, he's tough. He is just tough. And this is a guy that I kind of hate on a lot, but he just continues to prove me wrong. And as an analyst, I can't let my personal bias get too far ahead of his actual skill. Dude is tough. Yeah. His wrestling can be weak, and his chin has been exposed. Terrence McKinney did drop him in like the first 10 seconds of their fight. He's like one of the he's the only guy to drop Drew Dober, I think. But besides that, his chin is really, really, really tough. He's super, super technical. He's got like a Muay Thai style. I actually think he trains at Tiger Muay Thai, or he's a Tiger Muay Thai fighter, but it's not his gym.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Tiger Muay Thai is weird because people will train at Tiger Muay Thai, but their actual home gym somewhere else. But either way, he has that Muay Thai style of fighting. Bobby Green, very fun, diverse striker. He has good like boxing defense, and he has really good like wrestling if he wants to use it. He was the guy to expose Nasrat Haqparast, and Nasrat, in my opinion, I've talked about it before on the podcast. He was a really big prospect. I thought this dude was going to be good, and then Bobby Green just picked him apart. Like he made it easy, mind you. He also, like I said, he exposed Nasrat. Nasrat has his guard up and just gets hit in the face either way. It has no parry, but still, he exposed him, and then he lost to Islam a week later. What are you gonna do?
Both of them have losses to Islam. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he ended up fighting Islam and then just lost. So I don't know. First off, I hate betting on this fight. Don't bet on this fight. That's awful. Bet on this fight if you probably want to lose your money, because I don't know who's going to win. Bobby Green, I think he's a better MMA striker. Drew is stronger, tougher for sure. And this fight's hard to pick because I can see Bobby Green winning by decision or losing by finish. But I think it comes down to how good Bobby Green is that night. But I think I know what I'm going to get out of Drew Dober. So, with that being said, I don't like the risk of what Bobby Green am I going to get. So I will take Drew Dober. And Drew Dober isn't the best wrestler either. So if Bobby Green does go to his wrestling, that might even be a way that he can win too. And I don't even need him to wrestle to be his best that night. That's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying, is it going to be a Bobby Green who has really good striking defense that's able to pick a guy apart? If he can do that with Drew, he'll probably win each round one by decision. But if not, probably going to get knocked out. Or it's just going to be a really good fight that goes to like a hard decision. So I'll shut up, Tori. That's my breakdown. What do you think about this fight?
No, I agree. I'm hoping it does go to decision, because if it does, I think we're going to get a war. I mean, Dober, both of these guys' records are just crazy. Dober 25-11-0, Green 29-13-0, just crazy. Dober, granite chin. The Crimson Chin, man, just simply cannot be beat, like you said. I think he has decent wrestling, and I think if he uses it against Green, it could maybe work to his advantage, because I do think Green has the advantage on the feet a little bit. But the thing is when he gets top position, because we've seen Green, he's not great on his back. I know it was with Islam, but we've seen some previous opponents before where he's gotten taken down. He's struggled a little bit defensively. And so I think if Dober can somehow get the takedown and get him on his back, I think he can beat him down with ease. I do not think Dober's going to get knocked out. So that's why I do believe that Dober's either going to finish Green or he's going to win by decision, or Green can win by decision. I'll do my pick after. But I mean, Dober, he's consistent. I have it right here. Like you said, he's always consistent. You know what you're going to get. He's a brawler. And he has that powerhouse of a left hand that people do need to watch out for, because it is strong and hard hitting and just good boxing. He's just a classic in the UFC. I feel like almost he's just a classic Drew Dober. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows what he's about. And then you have Green, who has the advantage slightly on the feet. As I wrote right here, we have seen him struggle off his back, as I mentioned before. Really good boxing. One of the bigger differences is Green has fought tougher competition and higher competition in the rankings. If you look at it, he has better striking accuracy and better defense. You can just see it in general. He is a little bit more output in his fights. He has good straights. He has very crisp and clean hands, and he has good volume rather than power. And so that's why it's a hard fight. I don't know which one to choose. I had it in my head, but now that I'm saying it out loud, like I always do, I am contemplating my decisions, and I think I'm gonna go Dober. I think he's gonna be a little more consistent. Like you said, I know what I'm gonna get. Never know what you're gonna get with Bobby Green. So, and Bobby Green, remember a little bit ago, like tested positive for something.
And he admitted he admitted it too.
Oh,
He's like, no, yeah, I did that. I just didn't know.
Oh, well, he's an honest guy. Like, I mean, that's cool. Bobby Green's though, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. I do like Bobby Green, but I think I'm gonna choose Dober in this fight.
Yeah, I don't know what the drug was, but like I remember that was a while ago, right? That was like 8 months ago, something like that. It was almost like a year ago.
Or was like 6. It was like a 6-month suspension.
6 months suspension. Yeah. Anyway, I remember when it came out, and I'm like I'd never heard of this drug in my entire life, so I don't. And you know me, I love drugs.
Yeah. The biggest of them all.
No, I don't know anything about drugs, but I had never heard about it. So Bobby Green's like, I didn't know, my bad. So I think that's funny. But yeah, super hard fight to pick, Tori. What's the next fight?
I think it's gonna be featherweight. I had my notes mixed up for a second. I had it on the main event. Anyways, Alex Caceres versus Julian Erosa. It's gonna be a fun fight. I'm actually kind of excited for this one. Alrighty, so both of these guys are UFC veterans. They both have very built up records. You have Caceres, who is 19-13-0, and then you have Erosa, who is 28-10-0. And starting off with Alex, he is a UFC veteran. He has decent grappling, overall a good mixed martial artist, good leg kicks. He uses his range very well, continuously going in and out. Does keep a little bit of a high guard, which is not the best thing sometimes. And then he throws really good straights and just solid everywhere. Good experience, very good volume, good accuracy. He was on a 5-fight win streak before his last loss, which was a good fight. And then you have Erosa, who, interestingly enough, I wrote this down because I thought that was cool. Not really cool, but just funny. Erosa lost to Patty Pimblett in 2016 in Cage Warriors.
That is interesting.
Yeah, fun fact. But I mean, he's a violent fighter. I mean, he's a southpaw striker, very wild, a brawler, has good jiu-jitsu when he needs it. He needs to keep this fight out of range, just keep moving out, because his chin is not the best. He can be a little bit inconsistent. He is a little bit of an awkward fighter. He does hold his hands low, but the chin has been improving in his past couple fights. And I mean, when he does need to use the takedowns, he does a okay job working them in. But overall, I think Caceres is it's a hard one for me to choose. I don't know. I'm actually going to switch last minute, and I'm going to go. I'm still going to go Caceres. Never mind. I overall just think he is a better mixed martial artist. I do have that in my print because as I was reading it, but I mean, this is also a close fight. I think he's gonna have a little bit too much power for Rosa, and it's a little concerning. I think it's gonna end in a finish. I'm gonna say like a second. I'm gonna say third round knockout. I'll just throw that out there.
Third round knockout. Okay. For Alex, besides him having a great name, I put that every time there's somebody named Alex. Hopefully there's a fighter that can be named Tori, and then you can do the same thing I do all the time.
One time.
But I said that he's a diverse striker, but he's a stereotypical featherweight striker. Featherweight might be my least favorite weight division. It's pretty hard. I like fighters in the featherweight, and I like watching featherweight fights, but I feel like they're just always so similar. And mind you, if I'm like, hey guys, watch UFC, I don't want to watch this fight. I'll probably throw on a featherweight fight because those are the, usually entertaining fight. I'm on a side tangent here, but all I'm saying is a lot of featherweight fighters are just like high output, fast strikers, but they don't have any power. It's usually what it is. And I'm like, that doesn't really, I don't know. Anyway, because then it usually goes to decision, and then I don't know who won because it's like so hard to judge when there's this fast strikers, and you gotta hope one of them had more damage than the other. And anyway, that's my little side tangent. But that's Alex, right? He has 70% takedown accuracy. But he isn't always a wrestler. He almost always he'll wrestle if he needs to, but it's not like he has wrestling in his back pocket. He'll just if the fight's not going his way, he'll try to wrestle. Rosa, he's a really good striker. He comes in and out, doesn't look for the knockout, but he can knock people out. So he's one featherweight that can knock people out. He's also a pretty good wrestler overall. So I'm going to take him here because I think he is a better wrestler. I think that, if it is just a strike heavy match, well, if he can go to his wrestling, then that's going to help him win this fight. So that's kind of what I expect, but this is a really hard fight to judge, and I am really looking forward to it, Tori. But our first disagreement nonetheless. So we'll see what happens.
Goes on
to the next one. Crazy fight.
This is insane. Yeah.
Amir Albazi taking on Alessandro Costa. Amir, good striker, but ultimately he's pretty much just a wrestler. He's fast, averages 3 takedowns a fight. He has really good BJJ as well. So, I mean, overall, I just named a really good overall fighter. He's got all 3. Alessandro, very clean striker, has a lot of power, but besides that, I haven't seen a lot out of him yet. At the high level, and remind me, Tori, is this he's a Contender Series guy, right? Came off
the Costa?
Yeah.
Or was it? I believe so. I think I had that written in my notes. Let me go down to it.
Either way, all I'm saying is I haven't seen him fight really hard guys. Same with Amir.
Yes, he was.
He was a Contender Series guy. Okay, so haven't seen a lot out of him yet. And strictly for that, I'm going to take Amir. I mean, like I said, pretty well-rounded fighter. He's good. I think he could probably win however he wants, actually. So I'm going to go with Amir in this fight.
Yeah, I am going to agree with you on that. Both of these are new, exciting prospects. I always like to see prospects in the flyweight division just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But Amir, just good everywhere. Like you said, moves in and out, very good straight shots, mixes in his wrestling well, very good submission game. He's fast on his feet, and he's always working for the takedown. Then you have Costa, good striker, solid power, pretty okay takedown defense. It's not great. He's definitely a chess player when it comes to fighting. He just knows when his shots are. He picks and chooses. He has very good, quick combos. He needs to keep this fight at a distance in order to win, I think, if he wants to win by decision, because I don't see him necessarily winning by finish. He just needs to move in and out. I think Amir has the advantages kind of everywhere a little bit in this fight. So I think I'm going to choose Amir, and I'm not sure how, but I think he's going to be dominant.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably, we're both pretty confident. Probably the easiest fight to bet on of the night so far.
Yeah. And Next, I am excited. This could have been a main event for a fight night. This is exciting.
I would
I'm
rather
excited for
I
the
would
fight.
rather watch this than Patty Pimblett and Jared Gordon. What?
For a
What?
co-main. Oh, I know, me too. 1000%. I have Armin to scare. Wait, you say it because you know how to say it. You said it earlier and then I forgot.
Oh boy, I did say it earlier. Let's see
You
if I
did say it
remember.
earlier. I'm saying it live. I'm sorry. I'm putting
Armin
you on the spot.
Tasaki. You see, you put me on the spot, Tori. That's how you say it. Armin Tasaki Hucky. I don't know. I'm messing it up. I did say it earlier.
I'll
These
do
are hard.
Armin versus Damir Ismagulov. Alrighty. You have Armin, who is an amazing wrestler. He had that great fight with Gamrot not too long ago, but it was very close. His striking has improved very significantly. He sets up his takedowns beautifully, and he's just a very athletic fighter. He moves very quick on the feet, and he's a powerhouse. He does have a lot of power for kind of not a littler dude, but a lightweight. He has good power, and his wrestling is insane. And then you have Damir, who is overall a great mixed martial artist. He has very good cardio. He has a very fast fighting style, good striking, good wrestling, definitely a point fighter, not a lot of power, but I do think he does have better cardio than Armin does because we did see him get a little tired in that Gamrot fight towards the later rounds. Armin, I'm going to choose to win, but if he shoots for the takedowns, constantly, I think he can take it. Yeah, I think I'm like I always question it last minute as I'm looking, but because the thing is Damir's he's no guy to mess with. But I think Armin, like, people are doubting him just because of his loss to Gamrot, but he looked good. And the thing is I think like he defended, like, I think he got taken down 5 times in that fight, but he defended like 16. Like, there was a crazy amount that he defended.
Yeah, his averages like got really messed up because of that fight, because he did defend a lot.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna choose Armin. I just overall think he's a better fighter. I think he's had a little bit more experience, but yeah, that's my choose. That's my pick.
Yeah, no, I actually feel like a lot of people are picking Armin, so he's definitely the favorite. I'm picking the underdog here, Tori. Not really super confident, but I am, and I'll tell you why. I mean, Armin, great wrestling, averages 2.73 takedowns a fight, has really, really good kicks, solid Muay Thai-esque striking when it comes to his hands. And he also has really good takedown defense, like we were just talking about. Damir, in my opinion, is the dark horse of his division, which is funny because Jared Cannonier used to be considered the dark horse of his division, and then Israel exposed him. I don't know if he is anymore, but both on the same card. But I think Damir is like the dark horse of his division. His striking's really good. I think his wrestling's good. I think his BJJ is good. He has really, really good cardio, and he has won his last 20 fights, 5 of them being in the UFC. He hasn't lost since 2015. I was in the 5th grade the last time this guy lost a professional MMA bout. I'm a sophomore in college now, so it's kind of crazy to think about. And Armin, he's 31, and no, sorry, Armin is 26. Namir is 31. Messed that up. And 26 is pretty young for UFC. Mind you, goes to show how good Armin is, right?
Yeah.
Like, for him to be so dominant at a young age with 31, with a record like that and the experience he has all around, is the reason I want to pick him on top of the cardio that I think he has. So I'm going to go with Damir, but honestly, I will not be surprised if I'm wrong on this pick, Tori. It's
a hard fight to choose. They are similar fighters, just in the way they approach the fighting style, and it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be. I think it's not gonna be. I just think it's gonna be a technical, like, beauty show. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a very entertaining fight, but I think it's gonna be a technical war, if that makes sense. And I'm excited. For sure, I'm excited too. On to the main event. We got Jared Cannonier taking on Tarzan. Strickland. Sean Strickland. I'm gonna call him Tarzan now because he doesn't like it. That's what I'm gonna do. I know he's listening. But Jared Cannonier, like I said, he was the dark horse of his division, and rightfully so. I think he is so disrespected, Tori. I think Jared Cannonier is
one of the best middleweight fighters. I genuinely
Yeah.
do. I really want to see him fight these other guys that are like considered like the
I wanna see him fight
other
Robert
really good
Whittaker.
ones. Yeah, like I want to see him fight Robert Whittaker. I want to see that fight.
I think they did actually run it. I forgot. Let me look
Have they
that up
fought?
because I believe Robert I want to see them fight again because let me look. Yeah, they did. I remember that. Okay, yeah, Robert Whittaker won and it was by decision. I do remember that. I do want to see it again though because of how different they are. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I think Jared Cannonier is really good. His power, I think Alex Pereira is a whole different animal, but I think he is one of the most powerful strikers in middleweight, and that all stems from him. He used to be a heavyweight. So just like, the whole idea of cutting weight, in case you guys don't understand, why do fighters cut weight? Why don't they fight at their natural weight class? Because if you're a walk around weight at 200 and you can cut down to 170, you're going to be really strong compared to the 170-pound people. That's why you cut weight, because you want to be stronger than everybody. Now, you might say, well, if everybody stayed at their natural weights, then that wouldn't happen. And that's an argument to make, but it wouldn't be as fun, I don't think. So anyway, that's that. His kicks really hurt. His cross can knock you out. And then as for Strickland, he throws a lot of good combos. He likes to control the cage offensively. And if he doesn't, he has pretty good defense too. But overall, for Strickland, dude is funny, by the way. Funny guy. But I think he's a little overrated as a fighter, actually. I
agree.
don't like everything that I see from Strickland's matches. I said he throws good combos, but they're sloppy. Like he will throw a combo, but it's not always the best. It's not always the best intention either. It's almost like when I used to box my friends and I was just throwing the throw in hopes that I would hurt them.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You're a UFC fighter. So
Yeah.
I think, Cannonier is good. After his loss to Izzy, I think a lot of people really sleep on him now, but he's a killer. His fight that got him there, like, showed how he is the killer gorilla, straight up.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see that again on Saturday. So I'm going to go with Jared Cannonier here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that pick. And I mean, you described it perfectly, Cannonier. He's a powerhouse. He is always switching stances. And the fight is really going to depend on how much volume we get from Cannonier. It's going to depend on how much he wants to throw on how much he kind of wants to wait around and counter strike. But it depends on how much he's going to want to throw because Strickland's going to pressure. He's going to pressure him. He's going to walk forward. He has solid straights and this man walks you down and he's a brawler and he does have good volume, just not good striking defense. So if Cannonier lands, I mean, not saying that he's going to get not flatlined like he did with Alex Pereira because that's Alex Pereira. That man is a heavyweight, but I just think that Strickland can get finished in this fight if his defense is not improved. But I do also think he can win by decision if his output is higher because I can see Cannonier not having as much output as Strickland because Strickland is constantly walking forward and throwing and he has such a good jab. And if that lands, you never know. But Cannonier is a meathead. He has a big head too. And he's just a huge guy. So overall, I think Cannonier has the advantages pretty much everywhere. He just needs to have that output and that volume in his strikes to really like secure that pick. But I'm gonna go Cannonier and I'm gonna go Cannonier. I'll say by decision.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad. I can already see the comments saying Strickland, he beat Hermanson and he beat Uriah Hall and he beat Brendan Allen by a knockout. How are you gonna say he's 4-1 in his last 5? How are you gonna say he's overrated? Watch those fights. That would be my answer. I would just say watch the fights. Tell me if you think he should have won his fight versus Jack Hermanson. Tell me how you thought he did versus Alex Pereira. Tell me, I don't know. I mean, like, I think he's done what he needs to do in fights to win, but I don't know. Like I said, I think he's kind of overrated. But that'll wrap it up for fight night this Saturday. Actually, talking about this fight night, Tori, like with you, makes me a little more excited for some of these fights. Like,
yeah,
there are some fire fights on the main card of this fight night. But Tori, let's get down to our top 5 this week. we did nicknames, top
Did.
5 nicknames in UFC all time. So I'll throw it to you first, Tori. What's your list?
Alrighty. One of mine isn't in the UFC, or it was in the UFC for like a second. But anyways, at number 5, this is a little biased. I'm sorry, guys. Dustin the Diamond Poirier. The Diamond, I mean, come on. It's so cool. Number 4, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. I love Mighty Mouse. Oh, wait, no, I meant to switch that. Okay, pretend like I didn't say Mighty Mouse was number 4. Anyways, number 4, Chris Cyborg. It's just iconic. Everyone knows her as Chris
that
Cyborg.
Is a good one.
I thought her name was Chris Cyborg until about a couple months ago. I thought that was just her name. Anyways, number 3, I have Kimbo Slice, because I didn't even know Kimbo Slice had another name until like 2 years ago. And I've known who Kimbo Slice was for a while. I had no idea that was not his name. Number 2 is Mighty Mouse. I switched that. Sorry, guys. I love Mighty Mouse. I'm saying that again. The number 1, how can you not? The Notorious. And that's my list.
Yeah, fire list. My number 5 is also a little biased. I put Cody No Love Garbrandt because I love Cody Garbrandt. He's about to fight soon. And mind you, Tori, I don't care. I'm going to say it. I'm friends with a guy who trains with Cody Garbrandt's uncle. And he told me that Cody signed a 4-fight contract with the UFC. Just saying, just throwing that out there. So,
are we allowed to say that?
I just did.
Oh,
gotta go to the end of the video though.
He gets a letter in the mail tomorrow. Show the word letter.
If people are here for the end of our videos, now they can know. But I have Mr. No Love. I just think that's cold, and it's fitting for him. Another fitting nickname is my number 4, the Notorious Conor McGregor. I mean, he is the Notorious Conor McGregor. It's such a fitting nickname. Number 3, I have Israel the Last Stylebender Adesanya. Just cold. I love it. And Avatar was like one of my favorite cartoons growing up, so even better. Number 3, it just rolls off, or number 2, sorry, rolls off the tongue. John Bones Jones. Love it. Yeah. And Tori, I'm looking at my list and I realize how incredibly biased I was in this list, because quite literally my number 1 is Chuck the Iceman Liddell, which by the way, I think is such a great
that is a very awesome nickname.
I just think it's so fire. But Chuck, Israel, and Cody are both like probably my top 5 all time like favorites. So that's a little biased, but that is my I didn't even realize that until I said it out loud. And I was like,
do you see Cody's new tattoo? Side of his face? It's kind of sick.
It is sick. He's sick.
Like
he's awesome. He's gonna be champion again one day.
We'll wish. We'll hope.
He's still maybe in another young.
Maybe in another future. Maybe in another world.
He's still so young, Tori. I love him. Oh well. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for episode 16 of the Not Your Everyday MMA podcast. Again, we appreciate our audio only listeners and our YouTube viewers, guys. 75% of you that watch our videos are not subscribed.
What is up with that?
Hit that subscribe button. Like, go ahead. It's, I don't even see if you subscribe. Like, I don't know who subscribes. There probably is a way to see it, but I don't see it. So there's no subscribe. And that way, when we post videos, when they drop, and you can be a follower. You could say you were here at the early stages of our channel. So anyway, nonetheless, we appreciate you guys. Appreciate you for the awesome year so far. We'll have a lot. We still have a couple more videos before the end of the year, and those will be interesting. And then we're on to the new year of UFC, new year of fights. 2023. Crazy. So
by far one of the not greatest years in MMA, most shocking years in MMA ever, I would say.
You said not one of the best?
No, I said not one of the I didn't mean that, like just most shocking.
Yeah. I think it was a crazy year. And we'll talk about it soon because we're going to do a little award show, Tori. So that'll be fun. But that is episode 16 of Not Your Everyday MMA podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, my name's Alex Henry and I was with
Tori Haverhill. Thanks, guys.
Bye. We're signing off.